Rain. It cuddles you at night when you're tucked in bed and takes all your worries away. I don't know about you, but that's how I feel sometimes when there's rain ticking on my window, leaving it with those sliding drops. It can be melancholic, it can be heartwarming on those winter nights, it can be lots of things, good and bad. But if you're like me and love rain, then you will also love Rain on PlayStation 3. So elation and jubilation, gamers from all around the world. I am Lucian and this is the World Gamer Show. And today it's time to get cozy at home while we play Rain together on our trusty PlayStation 3. Is this game the true definition of a hidden gem? Spoiler alert, yes it is. So let's find out just why. Developed by PlayStation Camp, the creative minds behind the peculiar Tokyo Jungle and Echochrome, Rain is a mixture of platform, puzzles and stealth, with a sprinkle of escort mission a la Ico. But just like Ico, Rain is much more than the sum of its parts. Rain is a poetic tale about a boy who becomes invisible and gets lost in a city on a rainy night, trying to save an invisible girl and protect her from monstrous creatures until they can finally get safely home. They manage to be visible only through the rain that pours on their body. It is ingenious, both from a visual artistic standpoint and from a gameplay perspective, as it allows extremely clever puzzle solving. But let's go in order. Our invisible protagonist's initial objective is to traverse this empty town, with some environmental puzzles thrown in along the way. However, Rain's stealthy gameplay nature is soon revealed as the monsters enter the scene. If you get caught, it's instant game over, so the only way to survive is to avoid them by using your invisibility and the environment to your advantage. For example, since it's the rain that reveals the shape of your body, if you manage to get covered under a roof, your whole body will then stay fully invisible, allowing you to sneak past your enemies. But be careful, as running on puddles can easily catch monsters' attention. The same way, mud can stain you to the point of making you visible to unintended eyes. The game is also full of puzzles, and the better ones revolve exactly around this mechanic of covering you from the rain to make yourself invisible. Others, more conventional, might require you to draw the enemy's attention somewhere so to clear a specific path. At a certain point, you will be joined by the invisible girl, in which case she will cooperate with you to remove obstacles or create a safe path for you. Contrary to Ico, this girl can mostly take care of herself and almost never becomes a reason of frustration, thankfully. Enemies will have their predetermined patterns and the camera will almost always be positioned well enough to let you have a full understanding of the situation, which is very important because the camera is fixed. And this also allows us to witness incredibly artistic shots that take inspirations from the great classics like Hitchcock. Indeed, the artistic value that this game holds goes way beyond just the gimmick of the rain. For example, the story is told through narrative text fixed directly into the environment, and each time you see some text popping up, There comes the soundtrack that quietly but effectively sets in to enhance the moment. And the OST is truly something worth listening even outside of the game. Very emotional and melodic at the same time. Sends shivers down the spine in some cases. The story itself is actually pretty simple, but it's the way that it's told that it's incredibly remarkable. It is truly the case of a story that intertwines perfectly with the environment, not just through words, but through feelings. It is not really the story that you will remember once you will go through the roughly 4 hours that will take you to complete the game. It is the feelings that will remain. Now, of course, it is not all sunshine and rainbows, no pun intended. Consider these sort of nitpicks. My biggest one with the game is that it is very linear, like there is never more than one way to solve things, and this lack of variety can hurt this game a little to the eyes of some. Personally, I think that bigger environments with multiple solutions was beyond the scope of this game. Linear progression isn't always a bad thing when there is something else sustaining the whole experience. Another nitpick that I have is that whenever you die too many times or you're stuck, a help option appears on the right lower corner of the screen. If you press select, it will give you a hint on how to progress. I understand its inclusion, but I wish you could turn it off because I find it pretty intrusive. Like it distracts me a lot, especially if I'm trying hard to focus on a solution for a situation I'm stuck in. It really takes me out of the experience, so I wish you could simply have it turnable on and off from the options menu. Oh, and it can also be a little bit difficult to see the protagonist when he is not in the rain, like you need to pay 100% attention to his footsteps, otherwise you might lose him. Both from sight or in the literal sense if there is an enemy around. And indeed this issue can cause some cheap deaths. But at the same time, there is almost no punish for deaths, because this game puts the experience first, not the challenge. So be warned those who absolutely need to be punished for the slightest mistake in their games. Dark Souls, this is not. Even though you technically die in one single hit in rain, so make it what you will. Also, the game is quite short, but this allows it to not overstate its welcome, and it's totally in line with its budget price. On top of that, once you beat the game the first time, you unlock the chance to collect some special orbs scattered throughout the levels, which can reveal a deeper side of the story. And it is always a pleasure to wander around the streets of this lonely city soaked in the rain. So yeah, Rain is totally worth it. But if you've never heard of it before, I don't blame you. It's very well hidden in the depths of the PlayStation Store, and it didn't receive much advertisement back in the day. In the NTSC and PAL territories, it is a digital exclusive, so I'd say it's worth buying it while you still can. The price is really cheap, but the same can't be said for the very expensive physical edition released only in Asian countries. And the prices are only going up, given that it's the only physical version of the game and probably the only one it will ever have. Another simpler option is to play it thanks to the PS Plus premium streaming service. Whatever you do, don't let this one pass you by. Rain is a game to play at night when you're cozy in your sofa or bed. It is poetry about Rain itself, the best video game in tribute dedicated to it that I've ever seen or played. It's like one of those very artistic and emotional short films by Pixar, but playable, something that I've always wanted. The PS3 was no stranger to very transcendental experience such as Flower and Journey, and Rain can stand most definitely proud among them. But that's just one guy's opinion on the internet, so now I want to know yours down in the comment section. Did you ever play this game? Will you pick it up while you still can? What do you think about these artistic games that put more emphasis on the experience rather than purely on gameplay? Share your thoughts with me in the comments if you wish. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to share it around, like and subscribe. But really, no pressure at all. I just want to thank you very much for spending some of your precious time watching this video to the end. I will be seeing you in my next one, but until then, stay safe, play safe, world gamers.